Yo people, how's it going? It's your boy Richard Morse back at it again with another video, and this time it's a little bit different from the ones I usually do. It's going to be a little new series I'm thinking about doing for this new season. It's going to be a game week review once every week. Once all the Premier League games are done, we're going to have a look at the results, see which ones were not a shocker, ones that actually really did shock us, and some that were meh. So yeah, I'm kind of looking to try and experiment with this new season, so let's see how this one does. So if you haven't done already, please leave a like, share and subscribe down below. Comment down below what you think of the results this week, and we'll see how this one goes. So anyway, let's get into it, shall we? So yeah, the first Premier League week of the season is done, and yeah, some interesting results over the last couple of days. So yeah, let's go in for them. Obviously, our boys AFC Bournemouth were in the first game of the new season. We sadly lost 4-2 to Liverpool, and to be honest, like I said in my reaction to the game afterwards, there's no real shame in us losing to Liverpool on the first day. I mean, look at all the signings they made over the summer. Look at what happens to us over the summer. Defensively, we were absolutely ripped apart. Literally, one of our defenders has only been in the club like 3 days, and his first big test is going up against the Premier League champions. So, like, nobody really expected us to win this match, and, like, you know, people were going into this thinking, oh yeah, we're going to be fed. We're going to be 5-0, 6-0, 7-0 down in, like, half-time. So the fact that we went from 2-0 down to bring it back to 2-2, despite everything that happened with Semenyo as well, which was absolutely disgraceful. I'm not even going to acknowledge that person because he's not even worth giving any platform to. But if you noticed what's happened, you know what happened. It was disgraceful. It shouldn't be happening. In 2025, things like that shouldn't even be... We shouldn't be still having these conversations in 2025 of like why what happened was wrong and all that. We shouldn't be doing that now. It's honestly a joke. But anyways, like I said, the fact that we were 2-0 down and Semenyo came back to make it 2-2, and it was only until, the 88th minute that Liverpool scored with Chiesa to make it 3-2, and then unfortunately that's the point where he just fell apart, and that's when Liverpool scored another one to make it 4-2. Salah, as he always does, like he always says, it's inevitable. He always finds a way to score in the first game of the Premier League. I think it's now done it 10 seasons in a row. That's like ridiculous, really, when you think about it. But yeah, after that was the only game on Friday. After that, we move on to the Saturday games. Now, Aston Villa, Newcastle 0-0. To be honest, I can kind of see that. Like, on paper, you think they're quite evenly matched. And despite the fact that, obviously, the whole drama with Isak and Liverpool and all that stuff going on, him not being in the squad, not playing, it does feel like it kind of evened them out a bit. If Isak was playing and he wasn't going for all this drama that he has with the transfer window, maybe Newcastle would have won that, but against Villa are not an easy team to play. And yeah, who knows? They still got Watkins at the moment, but he may make a transfer last minute. It's one of those that you're not too surprised with. Brighton, Fulham 1-1. Yeah, I mean, sounds about right, to be honest. Like, I haven't really heard much news coming out of like Brighton and Fulham. The only sort of news I have kind of heard about is obviously the Belieber to Man United transfer rumours. Like Fulham's been quite a quiet transfer. I haven't really heard any big noise or big shouts from Fulham. So yeah, didn't really know much more about it. I think a 1-1, I think is probably about most people's predicted result for that one. Now the real shocker is Sunderland, West Ham. Obviously, a lot of people expect Sunderland, Burnley and Leeds to be the ones that are struggling this season. And everyone kind of expects them to be one of those, another season where they all come up and they all go down straight away. So the fact that Sunderland can go up against West Ham, a proven Premier League team, they've been in it for donkey's years, and smash them 3-0 at home as well. I think, okay, in fairness, it is a Graham Potter West Ham. It's not like David Moyes West Ham, but still, on paper, you should expect West Ham to win that over Sunderland, let's be honest. But the fact that Sunderland turned up and absolutely dominated them 3-0, could have been 4-5 the way it was going, says a lot about Sunderland. And I think, honestly, we could finally have a season where at least one team, possibly even two of them that have been promoted up from the Championship, actually stays up. I think the last team to stay up was Bournemouth, and that was like 3-4 years ago now. Almost every other season since then, it's been 3 teams come up and they go straight back down. So honestly, I think this could be the one season in 4-5 now that teams from the Championship actually have a good actual chance of staying up. But it's still early days. It's only game week 1, lads. We still got our 37 game weeks to go, so I don't want to jinx them or shoot far off too soon. You know what I mean? Now, going to the next game, we have Man City 4, Wolves 0. I mean, are we really surprised? Wolves have been defensively shocking and just been completely depleted the last couple of seasons. They've lost Kilman, they lost Neto, obviously Jota went to Liverpool, who's sadly no longer with us anymore. Like Neves, they've lost so many players, key players over the last couple of seasons. They've just been absolutely decimated. And Man City, with the signings they made with Rangers, Cherksey, Aït-Nouri, they really wanted to come back after the last season where they didn't win the Premier League title. And it's always that thing with Pep, whenever he doesn't win a league title, he always comes back stronger and wins it again. So I think this is his we're back, boys. We had a year off, now we're back, and we're going to challenge for the title again. And right now they're currently sitting at top with the most goals scored so far. Nottingham Forest, Brentford, yeah. I mean, even the fact that Aït-Nouri's gone, Elanga's gone from Forest. I know even Santo was saying pre-season he wasn't too happy with Nottingham Forest's performances. He didn't think they were ready for the league. But to be fair, Brentford have been so decimated. Losing in Mbeumo, Weasel is going. Ivan Toney left a couple of seasons ago. They've just been slowly, and they've just lost their manager in Thomas Frank to Tottenham. They've lost so many key members of that team, both on and off the pitch, that it's just not been the same Brentford team, and it looks like they just look like a dead team now, to be honest. But transfer window's still open. They could make some last minute signings that could possibly give them some hope, but right now it's not looking too good for Brentford, I'll be honest. So yeah, 3-1 win for Forest. Not surprised, really. Chelsea 0, Palace 0. Now that one, I think people are obviously disappointed in Chelsea because, they've had this great summer. They just won the Conference League. They won the Club World Cup. And you think all the money they've brought in and all the signings they're going to be making, you think, oh yeah, Palace are going to get in trouble. But then, Palace did just win the Community Shield. I know Bizarre is the Community Shield. Who cares about that? It's still for them to win that and the FA Cup back to back. Going up against Liverpool in the Community Shield and winning that gave them the confidence of what, we can win this. We can beat Chelsea. We can go toe to toe with Chelsea. And I know there was a goal for Eze that got disallowed, and I think if that stood, it probably would have been 1-0 to Palace. And a lot of people are saying that Chelsea defensively they've been depleted with injuries. They're not at full strength defensively, similar to Liverpool, where I think in Liverpool's case it's in terms of sharpness and fitness. But once they get the fitness going, they'll be fine. Chelsea, on the other hand, is more of injuries and whether or not they can find last-minute replacements or find the right defenders to bring in that can kind of be stopgaps until the proper defenders come back sort of thing. So I think for Chelsea, because they've got West Ham in the next game week, I think this will be just a little bump in the road, but once they get the next win against West Ham, they'll be off to the races. So I'm not too disheartened with that one. Arsenal Man United. I think it's one of those results where obviously, for Arsenal, it's great because they get the 3 points, get off to a good start, but most people will say Man United were probably the better team of the two, really. Obviously, the results don't show it, but, sometimes you can be the better team and still come out the loser. It's just one of those sort of things. And I think, honestly, I'd be more concerned with Arsenal's team more than Man United's right now. I think Sesko, when he gets firing, he'll be fine. With Gyökeres, I don't know. I feel like with Arsenal, Arsenal have this habit of doing this. They overhype players to the extreme because of their fan base and just how much they love to gas up a player. I think they're gonna really, he's really gonna live up to the hype, or he's gonna fall flat on his face. And I've got a bad feeling it's gonna be the latter more than the former for Gyökeres. But like I said, it's still early. I might be wrong. You never know. I'm just saying what I feel. And now the final game, Leeds United 1, Everton 0. I'll be honest, I thought Everton would win this game. Leeds, yeah, they won the championship and they have a good season and all that, but in the championship. But I don't know, Leeds always seem to be those teams that either really start off really well in the Premier League whenever they come up, and then it all slowly falls apart. But Everton, I don't really know what to think of Everton. It feels like the lazy answer is, it's same old Everton. They'll win one game, lose the next, go on a 3-0 lose streak, then they'll win three games in a row. They'll just do what they have to do to stay in the league, and that's all they'll do, because that's just what they've been doing for the last especially recently, the last 4 or 5 years, they've just been skirting relegation, really, to be honest. But Leeds, I think the home court advantage was definitely a thing that played in their favour. It's always good to have the first game of the season at home to really give your fans something to inspire for and to root for. When you're going away, it's always a bit of a struggle on the first game week because you never know what you're going to get. And yeah, I think maybe Leeds can use this as a springboard to keep the season and momentum going, but it depends who Leeds play next. And I think, yeah, overall, results-wise, they've been pretty, I guess you can argue, kind of expected, really. Nothing, I wouldn't say, apart from the Sunderland one, none of them are really too shocking and surprising, really. You can argue the only other one maybe is Chelsea Palace, but then, you know, Palace aren't no, like, pushovers. They'll give you a fight. So, I don't know, like, I think overall, it's pretty much been a successful first game week of the season, really. Like, I'm just so glad the football's back, to be really honest, lads. It's been so... Summer, like, I love summer holidays and I love summer, but when there's no football on and all there is like these, you know, pre-season games that don't really mean anything, you know, there's no Euros, no World Cup. And obviously we had the Club World Cup, but, you know, Club World Cup or the proper World Cup, which one would you rather watch? Of course you're going to watch the World Cup, aren't you, because it's England and all that. It's just not the same when you don't have an international tournament during the summer. It just feels like the longest summer and you're just dying for the Premier League season to come back. And thank God it's back now because it's just been a long, like, 2-3 months. And now, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I think personally, pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Pretty by the books sort of Premier League first week of the season. Exciting one. It's really got me going for the season now, and I can't wait for the next one. Obviously, us boys, AFC Bournemouth, we play Wolves at home, first home game of the season. And I think for us, that's a good one for us because, like I said before, there's no shame in losing to Liverpool. They're the Premier League champions. Look at all the signings they've made. You know, Florian Wirtz on his own can probably equate to almost the total value of our entire Bournemouth squad. So that says a lot. And the fact that we got Wolves the next game who've just been decimated by Man City 4-0, that really gives us a good opportunity to treat the Liverpool game almost like an extra pre-season if we want to. A little bump in the road, but at least we got it out the way now and we can get back to really kick-start our season in the next game week. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll be doing a watch-along for the game. Unfortunately, I don't have tickets for the game. I've given them to my friend, unfortunately, so I won't be able to watch it. I'll have to do a watch-along for the game. So if you are going to come watch me on the watch-along, please come and watch me on there, whether it's on TikTok or YouTube. If you haven't done already, please leave a like, share, and subscribe down below. Comment on how you thought this Premier League game week went. Was there any results that shocked you? Any ones that weren't really too much of a surprise? And also, put your predictions down for the next game week. I'll have a look at the fixtures and I'll let you know how I feel. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video. I've been your boy Richard Morse of the Cherries, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hopefully this series will be a long-standing one, so we'll see how it goes. See you later.